The sun actually came out today, although all the clouds are sticking around. And what did I read today? How about this one? Sounds like here they're preparing to make, I guess, drones a regular thing in terms of flying around huge manned aircraft and all that too. This one says, a make-believe drone flight at Grand Sky may be the first step to flying drones in civil airspace. As it says here, on Thursday in a conference room at Grand Sky Aviation Park, a United States Senator, an Air Force colonel, county officials, and maybe a dozen drone industry executives sat in front of a bank of TV monitors to watch a high-tech game of make-believe. On the monitors, air traffic control software from a company called Simulize navigated several simulated drones from takeoff on and around Grand Forks Air Force Base. One was headed to deliver an imaginary payload to Cavalier Space Force Station, 70-odd miles northwest of Grand Forks AFB. Another flew in a serpentine pattern over a farm plot to simulate a farmer surveying his crops. NASA technicians fed the traffic management software data about made-up military aircraft flying through the drone's flight paths. At one point, a drone flew over a wildfire in Park River, North Dakota. No such wildfire existed, triggering a warning as the drone crossed into the fire department's airspace. The simulation is a first step in a Department of Defense-funded effort to fly unmanned aircraft in civil airspace known as Project Ultra. Last month, the Defense Department issued a task order directing Project Ultra to begin simulating unmanned cargo flights between military installations using $2.5 million in defense spending. It actually makes me think too, because how they say everything's made up, for example, giving drones warning and so forth, it actually makes me wonder in terms of things like security. Can a hacker in the future just do that? Give drones false information, for example, have it either just keep going forward when it shouldn't, or at the same time stopping it and so forth. So it makes me wonder, what did they do to try to prevent stuff like that? It says another task is ordered to expect it to be issued in the fall to make the flight for real between Grand Forks and Cavalier. However, Project Ultra's leading proponent in the Senate said Grand Forks is an ideal testing ground because of the infrastructure like North Dakota's Vantage BVLOS system, and because air traffic controllers already juggle students, military, and commercial aircraft in the same airspace. Grand Forks Airport is in the top 25 busiest airports in the nation because of all the students flying. Hovind said he expects Project Ultra to juice the region's already expanding UAS economy. Tom Sawyer, Grand Sky's president, said the aviation park is engaged with between 20 to 30 unmanned aircraft manufacturers to supply the cargo drone that will ultimately be used in the real-life Grand Forks to Cavalier flight. That actually makes me curious in terms of who the supplier or manufacturer would be, because as you know, in the US, they're planning to ban things like Chinese-made drones, DJI for example. But either way, it's becoming a standard thing, I guess. And this was kind of a crazy piece of news. You often heard, like in other countries, for example, they don't have the same rights and so forth. North Korea is one of them. But how about this piece of news? It's kind of crazy. This is true. This one says, North Korea executed 22-year-old for watching K-pop, report claims. Can you imagine that? It says North Korea has publicly executed a 22-year-old citizen for listening and sharing South Korean music and films, a new report claims. The case, detailed in a 2024 report on the North Korean human rights released by South Korea's Unification Ministry on Thursday, compiles testimonies from 649 North Korean defectors. The report highlights Pyongyang's desperate attempts to crack down on South Korean influence and outside information and culture. The North has rejected criticisms of the government's violation of human rights, calling it a part of the conspiracy to overthrow the leadership. The man from South Hwanghae province was publicly executed in 2022 for listening to 70 South Korean songs and watching 3 films and distributing them, according to an unnamed defector's testimony. This went against a North Korean law adopted in 2020 that bans, quote, reactionary ideology and culture. Other examples of reactionary practices include perceived South Korean customs such as brides wearing white dresses, sunglasses, and drinking alcohol from a wine glass. What's so crazy about that? Drinking alcohol from a wine glass, per se. It says North Koreans are also subjected to routine mobile phone inspections for contact name spellings, expressions, and slang terms. Wow, this is madness. This is actually true anyways. I know, again, a lot of people take their personal freedoms for granted, but at the same time, while this would sound pretty, I guess, aggressive in how they deal with it, it actually happens, I would imagine, in a lot of other places, just when it comes to things like free speech, for example. They might not do it as blatant like this. They might do it more, I guess, passively, make their life really hard, for example, to live. But still, it just shows you how crazy it could be around the world, huh? And it says, despite such harsh measures, the influence of South Korean culture, including recent television shows, appears unstoppable, according to a recent North Korean defector. This just makes you think, is that saying too, there's more of you than them, but at the same time, I guess no one wants to, I guess, be the sacrifice per se, correct? When it comes to this, in terms of fighting for your rights and all that. But again, this is insane if it's true. All right, see you guys later.